What's going on, everyone? This is Chris from GM Games. Today, it's college football, draft day sports style, Wolverine Studios. We're going to be doing a first look video at this launch on our website. If you don't know our website, check it out. Main site, gmgames.org. Lots of reviews, user ratings as well. You can check out our Discord. It's about 2,000 members, so come have chats about these games all you want. With that in mind, let's talk about what's new in college football 2021. On the website, what are they telling us? Well, so far this year, what's new in 2021? It's built on that brand new AU platform. PF21 was brought to you on that. If you don't know what that is, that's the pro football version of these games. There's also Pro Basketball 2021. Really great video out there on the internet right now from King of the Fourth Quarter, KOT4Q. If you want to know more about that game, you'll find it under a game to ruin 2K. That's a pretty interesting vid. So anyways, the graphics have been bumped up. It's a bit more of an upgrade on the recruiting, it's saying here. There's playbooks as well. More customization, that's something they always bring in terms of bowl logos and stuff like that. And changes in the engine. So that's stuff that some people really appreciate in a glorified spreadsheet game. And so that has been upgraded as well from the prior version. And so with that in mind, I'm going to be loading a representation that has all the real logos, all the real teams. What you see over here is the stuff that you get out of the box. So, it costs a lot of money to get licensing. So Ohio State Chestnuts, and that's the story, I guess, the backstory around the word Buckeye. And what we want Buckeyes. We want Iowa to say Hawkeyes, not Eagles. So the way to do that is there's a community link right here on their website. You go, there's a mods area on their website. In that mods area, you'll find the college football mods. And Slybell, amazing guy. He does mods for almost all these games, but he has one as well for college football. So, the work has been put into 2021, already ready to go in first access. So this isn't even the official launch yet. And so if you take a look at what's not included, though, they don't have player names and they don't have their faces. So it's a ton of work in college to be able to update those rosters. And so we'll wait for the community to see if they're going to come out and start putting out, players that we want to take a look at around the NCAA. So with that in mind, what you do is you go to this link. Eventually, you'll click on it. It'll download it. It'll be an installer. All right, so this is teaching you how to get the real world on it. After you install it, it's going to ask you where to place it. I installed my DDSCF21, and that's the acronym in case anyone's not aware of it, is to the regular default directory that comes on the computer. And when you do that, it makes it real simple just to add the mods because Slybell's already set it up so that if you press and execute that, it's just going to immediately take that into the directory. So I don't want to waste too much time on that, but it's going to show you a path. This is for non-Steam. When the game comes live on Steam, you're going to have to know where the game's installed. There is going to be instructions on what that folder is, but when you do the installer, and I'll show you an example of that because I don't want to sit on this too long. I want to get into the game. Is that when you load the mod here, it has that path and you'll be able to choose, install it. So do that before you get going and then you'll be good to go. So I already have made a little pre-selected one, but if you start a new league, it's going to ask you some choices. You can go career mode, sandbox, multiplayer. So you can play with your friends. You can create a league if you want. And the fact that it's college football, you could probably have up to every team human run. So, you could have over 100 potential owners in a league. But then you could also have your career mode. So if these games originated, a lot of them, as a bit of a introverted game where you play on your own. And so career mode allows you to be tested and challenged and be fired. Sandbox is more of a control thing. You'll be able to have more, authority over who runs what, and you're not going to be fired in that one. But, if you do sandbox, you're going to have some choices. You can pick your league format, that's custom. You can pick the roster if someone's made one. Coaches file, if you have someone set up for all, Nick Saban and all these other guys. I should probably look for a mod if that actually exists there, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of a first access today as we're going through things. So with that in mind, let's continue the league. This is like exactly what will happen right after you go through those steps of those screens that I just showed you. I'm admittedly not a real huge subject matter expert on this game. What I want to do though is show you the screens. They said look new, look like something that is different from the last version. And so, yeah, let's start showing off it's in this new version when we load this game up over here. So, these games have a lot of players. They have a lot of attributes, ratings. The databases are quite large. As you go play year after year, it stores in the almanac a lot of details. So when it's first loading the league data and being able to play, you're going to have that kind of delay come with the game. So right now, looking to load it, and here we go. We're dropped onto a screen. Right now, we don't own any team. So we're in sandbox. I guess it's almost like universe or God mode and just having a look around, right? And I think in this case, we should probably assign a team to ourselves for what we need to do. But you get dropped on this screen. It's called sandbox. We're in the training camp stage. We can just kind of maybe simulate through if you want, but let's show off some of the different things that are happening here. This is players, so there's a lot of customization. You can do these types of things and configure teams. So what we need to do here is, okay, so that's just setting that kind of stuff up. I guess right now there's no real kind of manager set, and I chose this one, so I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show some periods of time in it, and maybe with team config we can go pick a team. Seminoles might not be my team of choice. But yeah, I mean, so what happens is in training camps, you can get screens like league media. You can learn about what's happening in the league. You got the early rankings that have come in. LSU's in there. You can see some of the magazines, which is a preview of what's happening on the season. Here's some of the players that the game generated that are claiming that are the top 100 players this season from their magazine. And Dustin Tim's their top player, 4-star ranked player, a 5th-year senior, still playing, overall 100. That's amazing. But playing for the Irish of Notre Dame. And so, there are representations here. There's one of the best running backs. You can see Clemson. If we want to get into Clemson, I'm pretty sure we can just kind of go to that team and check it out. So let's take a look at the Clemson Tigers. If you go to the dashboard, it'll be a little bit different than what we saw on the other screen. So the dashboard itself gives you the prestige right at your fingertips, has these types of icons for the helmets, the players. And so we can really get into simulating and advancing the game. And so with that in mind, there are different things you can do with your team. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Let's take a look at the staff screen. You got your head coach, you got an offensive coordinator, you got a defensive coordinator. I mean, that keeps it pretty simple. You got a scouting budget, you got your staff salary budget. And so with that custom coaches file, you can get Dabo Sweeney in there at some point. Now, if you want to take a look at your roster, you can sort by the column headers. So if you want to see, right now it's set by position. You can then choose drop downs to change the positions, but you can see what their traits are as well. So these are almost like badges for the players. You got a dual threat, you got a receiving fullback if they're a little bit of a variation. This player happens to be a power runner. And you can see the recruiting rank for this team. We're in the ACC as well. So let's take a look at the next screen. Stats we don't have. Let's take a look at what positions is, because we haven't really played any part of the year yet. This is the breakdown of the depth chart. What do you need? What do you need to recruit? If you need walk-ons, maybe, if that's the case. So that's showing you where the gap is. You can see it's red highlighted, which is nice. And the depth chart, once you know a bit more about your team, you can go in and set this kind of stuff. And you can look at your offense, your defense, whatever it happens to be able to do it. Right now it's blank because either I can ask maybe the AI to do it, but I have not set anything like this yet. So there's still training camps. Maybe they're just waiting to see some ratings, but training camp's going to be coming next. And recruiting, I'm not sure if we actually can start with that just now, but apparently there's been some changes in recruiting. I don't have a team just yet to represent in the sandbox, but what I'll do is I'll complete the training camps and see what the game tells us. All right, so when you complete your training camps, if you're an overseer, the way I kind of have made this game, there's a tackle right now from Hawaii that just has gone nuts. So a 24 gain in points and a guard going up big time from the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. And so that's an ACC team that's getting an O-line upgrade. And who's plummeting? Well, you can see that Tulane, the Green Wave, you're going to have John Russell, a DT who's gone down. Interesting to see their ages too. So that's a 20-year-old versus a 22, 23-year-old. And that's the camp results. And so this screen is available from League Media whenever you want to come back. I do know that when you play this game, the player information sits at the top. So what I might do is come back and run a bit of the beginning parts of having a team. But for now, let's just keep advancing, simulating maybe some games and taking a look at what one of the best features are in the game is the 2D mode. Recruiting, I know that has changed a little bit. It's pretty in-depth. I think sometimes you need a video just on that because what you'll find is that's really a game within a game. And so why don't we take a look at the schedule of what's happening here, because the regular season has come up. To advance the game, it's turn-based, so it's at the top left-hand corner, and you can take a look, and here we got week 1 right away showing up for us. Clemson is playing some teams in the MAC, I guess, is Bowling Green, and then you got VTech with Bama. So I guess there's some out of conference schedule here going on. And San Jose State, BYU. I'm not sure if it's the upgraded San Jose State from this season. Played great, lost in their bowl game, but what a year they had. So for example, if I want to sim this game, San Jose State, BYU, the results come in and that's done. And then you can go watch this game as well. The results were shown to me though. So what you can do is, I believe, have that stuff kind of masked, and then you can come back and watch what happens if you want to see the game itself. But you can coach the games too. And it's a lot better than just your traditional, let's say, game where it just shows like the ESPN Sportscast, Gamecast, and just plays. It will show where people are moving around on the field. Whereas in a Gamecast, it just is really like a horizontal line that goes from left to right. So what you can do is, if you want to watch these back and see how the game went, you can do that. There's also a way to kind of not have it spoiled and then see what the outcome is at the end. At least that's what happens in the pro game. So we're going to crank the speed up just to show you what this 2D is like. And right now you can see the play-by-play happening on the top right-hand corner. Touchdown right here. A wide receiver just brought it in. I'm not sure what was the play. Complete. And I guess I got, oh no, it's going to be automated for this. So how fast is this moving? Okay, we're about 3 minutes in. I guess if you watch a game, it's going to be approximately 10 minutes per game. But I mean, the seasons aren't that long, so you can go and see what the guys are doing. And it's really neat to watch these 2D guys. As you see that with this mod, the field's been changed. Brigham Young's logo is there. And there's different logos as well in the box score, stuff of that nature. So what's the box score look like? Well, at this point, that's the full game. So you get to see scoring summary. You get to see traditionally, like on a website, how your players did. You can see their completion percentage. You can see how many attempts they had versus completions. You can see how the running backs were doing, and you can see that, someone just ran all over everyone. So rushing almost 400 yards and 300 yards passing. That's what I'm seeing. So this game had no defense. The over, as you can see, almost 90 points. So that's definitely indicating how this game behaved. So I'll close that off. I'm gonna see if I sim 1 week. That's season after season. Did not know that you could just kind of jump ahead that far. So let's sim a week. And if we go back, is it already going to tell us, or maybe there's like a silent way of doing it? I just want to see what that feature is, so that if you're running a team, you can go have that hidden. But maybe because I'm just an overseer in the sandbox mode, that's not happening for me. So what you do is it's already going to the next week. You'll have to go back to the prior week and you'll get all the results. Yeah. So I don't own a teams, which is part of kind of what's up, but there's an inbox. All your player avatar information's at the top. And, when you start playing your first game, you're going to start seeing information sent to you about how things went in certain games. And so, yeah, at the moment, we don't have any ownership. If I do find a way to do that right now, I'll add an owner. But for now, this is very much like just seeing how things play out, and which is cool. I mean, like, especially if you get some mods going and you just want to see what's happening, you're not actually wanting to be involved. A lot of people like simulating things and just seeing how that goes. So let's go through these screens one last time before we wrap up this first look video. But this game is really interesting. As you can see, that it's just scratching the surface on what's going on here. And, for conferences and standings, you can go, essentially, I would guess you can go from the SEC to the ACC and a lot of different places. Yeah, you got the offensive leaders and their statistical categories. No, in this case, it's just all around who's blasting people. North Carolina had a great first game. On the defensive end, the Louisville Cardinal for Mr. Cards 1125, GM Games legend. You'll find some of his videos on our channel. So that kind of stuff is there. But yeah, sorry I couldn't get in today a bit more about how you actually go and set your playbooks and your teams and the recruiting screen itself. Let's see if it's starting to show any of the recruits for next year out of high school. And there is some recruiting news. It's telling us a little bit of what's coming around. I guess this is more in-depth about viewing recruits in detail. Okay, here we go. We're starting to see now what that's all about. Right now we're delegating everything for every team. So recruiting, scouting, outreach being, calling someone, visiting, getting to know somebody, that's out there. So let's take a look at who is the best player to come in next season. It's a quarterback. Now, who's going to scoop this 5-star? That's going to be really interesting. IQ is high. Our coaches each give a grade. So if you like someone's opinion more than someone else's opinion, the interest level for whatever team, but I guess in this case, I don't even have a team, so I'm not sure how that's displaying itself. But here's an easy way to go through number 2 rank, number 3 rank. Don't have to go out, and come back. You can just watch this stuff. So really interesting. This is once again college football. Let's look at another interesting position for those people who love defense. So let's look at a defensive end representation. 6'3", 243 pounds. Out of the state of Arizona. That's what that kind of player looks like. They have other information as well. Social type. There's archetype works that's been done by AKH, one of the developers, working with a guy named Brooks. Brooks, the main developer that makes this game. And so, yeah, this is the College Football 2021. We're going to probably have more information on our website about it, potentially even streaming it, depending on who wants to do this game. But if you don't know about this one, I recommend checking the links in the descriptions of the game. And from that point, you can go follow your way through to learn more about it and see our user ratings and whatnot. But I thank everybody for coming today. This is a first look video of First Access College Football 2021 Draft Day Sports. If you want me to say it in order, Draft Day Sports College Football 2021, Makers Wolverine Studios. Thanks again. Happy 2021.